And news just coming in indicate that all 13 Delta Force members who were sent to court today have been granted bail. Details of that story as well as business, sports, entertainment all lined up for you. Stay with us. All right, so let's just go to the development in the Ashanti region. A high court in Kumasi has granted bail to the 13 members of the Delta Force for the offences of rioting, conspiracy to commit crime, and assault on public officer. And we'll be going straight to the Ashanti region. So on your screens now are live pictures that came in from the court premises moments after the hearing. And I would just want to bring you an update of the development because this has already started raising some public talks following the fact that the 13 members of the Delta Force have been granted bail. And they were sent to court following a number of charges that was leveled against them, or offenses leveled against them, including rioting, conspiracy to commit crime, and assault on a public officer. Kofi Asiedu-Dartey is our Northern Sector Bureau Chief, and he's joined us via Skype for the latest on the Delta Force members who have just been granted bail. Kofi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon to you, Martin.
So what was the judge's position and what informed the judge's decision to grant them bail?
Well, Martin, just for the benefit of our viewers, we recall that just yesterday, these 13 members of the vigilante group Delta Force appeared before Kumasi Circuit Court, and they were to answer a fresh charge of escaping from lawful custody. And of course, all of them pleaded guilty to the offense. And the presiding judge yesterday honored the plea, but fined them to the tune of 200 penalty points each, with a bond to be of good behavior. Now, these accused to head back to the prison custody to continue serving their two-week remand, which was served on them earlier by the KMA Circuit Court on the 6th of April when they first appeared before the court. Now, this morning, the lawyers for the accused actually filed a bail application at the High Court. And the High Court judge, Justice Obriegwa, actually ruled that the accused must comply with the bail conditions, and it includes a 10,000 Ghana cedi fine surety each for each of the accused, and they should be residents of Kumasi. They are also they've also been asked to actually submit 2 copies, photocopies of their valid identity cards as part of the bail conditions. And this was based on the argument by the defending lawyers that the suspects or the accused have really demonstrated enough commitment to follow due process without compromising on the security issues.
What can you tell us with regard to the demeanor of these 13 people when the judge announced the bail and the bond?
Well, I think from yesterday you could see that they are really sober. That's the word I can use to describe their demeanor. They look very sober and very calm in the whole process of the proceedings in court. And from the time they entered to the time they left the court, they were still calm and sober. But of course, they were also very jubilant when the judge granted the bail.
What can you tell us about the reaction of those who were in court in terms of security? And then moments after, we were told that some people were expressing excitement, others were, had quite some, misgivings about the decision to grant them bail. What was your reading of the atmosphere after the decision of the judge?
I think, Martin, I must say that unlike yesterday, when all eyes were at the court yesterday, today's court proceedings were on the blind side of many people, including the media, because we least expected that the lawyers will head back to court this early. So the premises at the court, you could not see that huge numbers as we experienced yesterday. But of course, most people around were relatives and people were close to the suspects and I mean the accused, and of course they were in jubilant mood. But body language as to people who are keenly watching the legal processes, you realize that people were also saying that at least they should have been allowed to serve their 2-week remand before, if even a bail would be granted, that would have been carried through. But of course, it's always the issue of people, some being happy and others not being so enthused with the legal process.
Is it likely that they would follow this case to the letter? Because there are concerns that now that bail has been granted, this becomes a foolish case probably by next week, by a month down the line. We probably would all forget about this. Has there been any commitment on the side of the judge or government to show that they will follow this through to the letter?
I should say that we live to see on the 20th of April when the substantive issue gets back to court. We are only expecting that justice will be seen to have been delivered. But of course, there are certainly people, no matter how it sways, there are people who may be enthused and others who may not be too satisfied. But we live to see, hoping that due diligence will be followed through and we see a conclusion to this whole issue.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kofi Asiedu-Dartey, for your time and the update from the Ashanti region. He is our Northern Sector Bureau Chief, giving us an update on the latest news coming in from the courts in Kumasi, saying that the 13 Delta Force members who were arrested have been granted bail